As soon as that little start, there we go. Looks good, Bill. Thank you.
All righty.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody. We will call to order this special meeting of the Lawrence County Salary Board. Today is Thursday, December 28th of 2023, and we welcome everybody who is here today. We would request that any cell phone that you might have, if you'd be kind enough to put it on silent or vibrate, we'd appreciate that courtesy. In order for us to establish that we have a quorum, I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Controller Prestipine.
Here.
Commissioner Spielvogel.
Here.
Commissioner Burek.
Present.
Commissioner Vogler.
Here. Thank you. All four permanent members of the board are in attendance today. I want to note for the record that the Salary Board did hold an executive session to discuss some personnel matters. That meeting was held on Tuesday, December 19th. And this meeting has been appropriately advertised as per the Commonwealth Sunshine Law. The legal ad did appear in the paper advertising this public meeting. We always have time for public comments, both at the beginning of the meeting and prior to adjournment. We ask if any of the members of the public have comments that they be related to Salary Board matters. And with that, I will ask if anybody from the public does have any comment at this time. Hearing none. In our packet, we do have the minutes of the December 12th Salary Board meeting, and I'll give my colleagues some time to look them over, and once you've done that, I could entertain a motion to adopt the minutes as they have been submitted.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, David. Is there a second?
I will second.
Retta, I appreciate that. Comments or discussion regarding the minutes? Hearing none, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Controller Prestipine.
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel.
Yes.
Commissioner Burek.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. This morning, we are taking up matters that involve three of our offices here at the county. The courts have two proposed resolutions, as does the assessment office, and then we have a final resolution pertaining to the commissioner's office. I do want to remind everybody that the role of the Salary Board, the statutory role based on state law, stipulates that counties have a permanent Salary Board, which would consist of the three commissioners and the elected controller. When another elected official has a matter to be brought before the Salary Board, that person becomes a temporary voting member of the board for purposes of their particular office. And we'll see that in just a few moments because Judge Motto is with us on behalf of the courts, and he becomes, for those issues, a voting member. I do want to remind everybody that the role of the Salary Board is fairly simple. We either create or eliminate positions, and we establish rates of pay for non-union and management positions. Obviously, for those folks that work here who are in the unions, they are subject to the union contracts that are put into place. We do not talk about, in this case or in these cases, the individual employees because of the fact that while a certain employee might be here today, come tomorrow, that person might move on, might retire, might find another position of employment. We talk about the positions, not the individuals that hold those positions. With all of that background, before we move on to our first resolution, I should, in fairness to my colleagues up front here, see if they have any opening statements. Commissioner Spielvogel, anything?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Controller Prestipine? No. Mr. Burek, anything today?
No.
Thank you. We're going to take up two resolutions from the courts, and as I mentioned, President Judge Motto becomes a voting member of the board. Judge, you are, as we always say, you're very welcome to sit up front here if you wish.
chair.
Yes, I do. That's why I'm here.
I will give him my seat.
Again, you're a voting member, and it will be your privilege to sit up here.
Absolutely.
I know we offer that every time, and every time you choose to sit there, but,
I couldn't resist a little bit of
well, thank you, Judge.
Always welcome, you know that, always welcome.
The first proposed resolution, what number would we assign?
60.
60. Thank you. This is proposed resolution 60, and this is to create a part-time law clerk position, which will only exist as long as the full-time law clerk position is vacant, the rate of pay being established at $26.44 per hour. And Your Honor, I'll let you elaborate, and then if you also wish to move for consideration of this resolution.
Yes, I would move that the position of part-time law clerk be created at a rate of $26.44 an hour. The position to exist only as long as the full-time law clerk position is vacant. I make that in the form of a motion. If there's a second, then I'll explain it.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Commissioner Spielvogel. Judge Motto, you're in order.
Okay, the situation here is that courtroom 3 does have a candidate that for hire as a full-time law clerk, but this individual would not be available until August after he graduates and takes the bar exam. In the interim, there is a law school, a separate law school student who'd be willing to work on a part-time basis until a full-time law clerk is hired. This, of course, is of savings to the county because he's only going to work between 15 and 20 hours a week. The hourly rate is based upon what a full-time law clerk would make, but obviously at reduced hours and without any benefits or hospitalization. So this will be for the first 7 months of the year, a substantial savings to the county, and will enable that particular courtroom to get by until it's able to hire a full-time law clerk.
Thank you so much for the background that you've given us, Judge. I'll have a quick question for you. I'm assuming that the judge whose courtroom this affects is in accord with this
It's
proposal.
at his request.
At his request. Thank you so much. Commissioner Burek, any questions or concerns?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Prestipine? No. Commissioner Spielvogel?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you. We do have a motion on the floor for proposed resolution 60. It has been seconded. The explanation has been given. I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
President Judge Motto,
Yes?
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. The next proposed resolution that falls under the courts would be proposed resolution 61. This involves rates of pay for the various positions that the judge will be elaborating here shortly. Your Honor, I will turn this over to you for if you wish to make a motion and then offer any background.
Yes, I'll make the motion. If there is a second, then I'll give the explanation for it. Now, the motion is that therefore be resolved by the Lawrence County Salary Board that the current confidential assistant to the district court administrator receive a salary increase of $2,500. All current courtroom assistants receive a salary increase of $2,500. All current judicial executive secretaries receive a salary increase of $2,500. That the resolution be effective January 1, 2024, and the above will not receive the 2024 COLA.
That is the motion that the judge is presenting. Would there be a second to the motion?
I will second.
Thank you, Commissioner Spielvogel. Judge, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, my explanation for this is a little more involved than the previous ones. First of all, I would start off by saying these 9 individuals are non-union people, and there's been no review either of their salaries on a merit basis or just on a age basis in terms of just in terms of the accuracy of their base rate. But I call these people the unsung heroes of the court because they do whatever is asked without any kind of complaint. They go above and beyond. And in support of that, I would offer this. We have 2 vacant positions in court administration that we have voluntarily decided not to fill, as well as 1 security guard position. Every time we do that, we're able to do that because these individuals are willing to take up the slack, so to speak, and do things to help the people that remain in those positions, aside from the ones we haven't filled. Additionally, we have 2 courtrooms that share a law clerk. Courtroom 3 has not had a law clerk since last June, and will not have a full-time law clerk till August. So I throw that out in the sense that if you grant this, it's not going to cause any increase in the court budget or in the county budget because we have the extra money to pay for this. The other thing is we have 2 unfilled positions with court stenographers. We're supposed to have 5, we have 3. That's not because we have voluntarily cut back. That's because we just can't find people who take those jobs anymore. So we use electronic digital recording in a courtroom. The people who use that are these court assistants. They're the ones who had to learn to be trained to use that equipment. So they work closely with the court stenographers so that they can make up that difference. If these people didn't do that, that really isn't technically a part of their job description, then we wouldn't be able to operate with the 3 stenographers that we have. The other thing is that since COVID and I think because of a decrease in the number of available sheriff deputies, we use video conferencing to have hearings with people who are incarcerated whenever we can. And I'm not talking just about defendants in the county jail, I'm actually talking about defendants all over the state that are entitled to hearings. And ordinarily, the sheriff's deputies will go out and transport all these people into the courtroom. In order to avoid doing that, we've developed a lot of technology in order to have these video conferencing hearings. So that means 2 things with respect to this motion. First of all, the people who operate that technology are these people. They had to be trained to do that. And they willingly do that. They do a great job with that. But the second part of that, and this is, I guess, what I call contribution from the court, which saves the county money. We recently, out of our judge's supervision fee fund, paid $30,000 for 2 pillar booths that the judge go into so that the hearing is more, I guess, clear in terms of speech, better communication, less outside noise to interrupt the proceedings. So we already did that. We already spent that money. But recently I asked the warden why they weren't set up yet. He says, well, I need $16,000 for the technology to hook them up. And that wasn't something that we'd ever agreed to pay for. So ordinarily that would come out of the county budget. I said, warden, we want that technology and we'll pay for $16,000. So I've agreed to pay the $16,000 to get that technology up going. So what that does for the county, besides saving the county the cost of that technology, it really, really helps out with the sheriff's department, who, they have vacancies there that just aren't filled. So that saves the sheriff's department a lot of money and enables them to continue to operate. And the county does save money because those positions are unfilled. It also helps out at the adult probation office, where again, we have adult probation positions which are not filled. They have to have gag-on-1 hearings. And ordinarily, they would send people over to the jail to do the gag-on-1 hearings. But this technology enables them to do those hearings without having to send people over to jail, which saves a lot of time for the adult probation officers that are still there. So I'm hoping I'm making the case that, yes, this is it's a substantial increase, but obviously I think with everything we've done, we've certainly provided the economic means to pay for it. And I hope I show that these people are certainly deserving of this consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Motto. Controller Prestafine, any questions or thoughts?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Spielvogel,
None for me, thank you.
Commissioner Burek.
My only concern is, And I appreciate the judge's explanation where he's trying to save the county money, but the budget that was already proposed, salaries that we previously approved, the last salary board for the law clerk positions, which are needed. My understanding is that's going to have an impact on the budget because we were unable to adjust those particular line items. So my only concern is the overall impact that the salary line item is going to be in a situation next year where we were this year. We have to do multiple transfers to try to cover the payroll. But other than that, I do appreciate the judge's explanation and do appreciate the efforts that he and the entire court staff have made for to do the best they can with the limited staff and budget that we have available.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from any of the board members? Hearing none, we do have a motion on the floor that's been seconded. This is proposed resolution 61. I'll ask for a roll call, please.
President Judge Motto,
Yes.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Buick,
Only because I was ill and unable to attend the executive session to discuss these particular positions, I'm going to abstain.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you very much. Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay, but if you have to move along, we understand.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have two requests from the assessment office. With us is the director of that office, J.R. Hardister. Good morning, J.R. Hope you're well.
Good morning.
And we'll note just for the record, unlike what we just had with the president judge being an elected official and having a vote on his matters, for department heads, based on state law, they certainly have the ability to make presentations to this board, but they are not temporary voting members of the board. So it'll just be the four of us up front here who will be voting. But Mr. Hardister has two proposed resolutions. The first would be number 62, and this is a technical correction, I believe, but I'll let you fill us in on what it is you're proposing with number 62.
On the previous salary board that was held December 11th, we increased the base salary of our GIS planner position. And I believe on that resolution, the effective date of the salary was incorrect. And that's all this technical resolution is, to change the date to 12/11. And I misquote, the salary board was on the 12th. He started the day before. The salary board was on the 12th, so we're just putting back the salary retroactive one day to the 11th rather than the 12th.
From your standpoint, does that cause the controller's office any issues?
No, that's in order for that individual to get paid the base rate of that position, this had to happen.
I see. Okay, very good. Thank you.
The new base rate of the position was changed from last time.
Thank you for that, David. Would there be a motion for this proposed resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Spielvogel. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Commissioner Spielvogel, do you have any questions or concerns for JR? Mr. Burek?
No.
Controller Prestipine, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we'll take a roll call, please.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. The next proposed resolution, number 63, would involve proposed increases for various staff members within that office, the Office of the Assessor. JR, I'll turn this back over to you and let you offer the explanation for this proposal.
Well, before I get into any explanation, do we have to have the resolution? So at least, it's similar to what President Judge Mata made a motion, and then we can discuss it, or do you just want me to explain?
Well, we'll continue that process for us to consider it. Would someone care to make a motion to allow us to consider the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll make the second.
Thank you very much. JR, thanks for catching me on that. Now that it's been moved and seconded, we can have your presentation, have questions and comments, and then see how we want to vote on it. So,
In front of you is a resolution for an increase in salary for some of the staff members of the assessment office. And a lot of the explanations are the same for each of the staff members. I can get into individual positions. But basically, since I became director of the office, we've had a staff living down from 9 to 10 employees down to 5.5. With the previous position, the GIS planner, that is shared, so I'm kind of considering that like a half of a position. So from 9 to 5, and because of that, the current staff has taken on many additional responsibilities, not just internally within the assessment office, but they've also taken on other responsibilities from other departments, such as our county treasurer's office and as our IT, and formerly known as our data processing department. So there are things that those offices did in the past that have now become the responsibility of the assessment office, primarily to do with tax billing for the county taxes, per capita tax rolls, and address changes for not only county taxes, but also all the municipality and school taxes. Remember, we are the kind of central clearinghouse when it comes to property taxes within the county. Everything starts at the assessment office and then branches off to each of the 3 different taxing bodies. And the other thing is each staff member currently now has what's called a CPE license or certificate. And these are requirements in each of their job descriptions. So they went to school, earned a license, and in order to continue doing their job, they have to maintain continuing education of 28 hours every 2 years. If they don't complete 28 hours, then they can actually be terminated for not complying with their job description. The assessment office is one of very few offices that have the statutory requirement that have this position, that have to be licensed to do their job. The chief assessor has to have a CPE in order to be titled a chief assessor, and any person that puts value on property in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania must have a CPE license. Everyone in the assessment office, excluding the new GIS planner, is a CPE licensed individual, and they all do put value on property, so they are required to continue that license in order to comply with Pennsylvania statute. This county also has incorporated new software that's going to be adding additional work and responsibilities that were not in any other previous job description. So those responsibilities are going to fall on the current staff. Eventually, the new technology is going to increase efficiency and proficiency in the office, but until the staff learns all the tricks and the trades of the new software, it is going to be time consuming and new responsibilities. And lastly, I guess this might go to Commissioner Burek's comment in the previous about the budget. Even though none of these expenditures increases were in the 2024 budget, there was enough of a carryover from 2023 that I encumbered into 2024 that would encumber all these raises for the 2024 budget. So no additional issue or transfers will need to be made, at least at this point, without any unforeseen circumstances occurring in 2024. That's the overview. I can get into each individual job description if you'd like, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions at this point.
Thank you, JR. And just I'll note for the record that the proposed resolution would initiate a change in the salary of the chief assessor by $3,500. It would also change that amount, a similar amount for the position of professional appraiser. The professional appraiser / C&G administrator, help me with C&G.
Clean and green.
Thank you. That position would see a $3,000 change in their salary. The office manager would receive a change of $3,500, and the current senior appraiser, that position would see a change of $2,300. These changes would take effect on January 1 of 2024, and none of them would then receive the 2024 cost of living adjustment that is noted in the resolution. I'll start with Mr. Burek to see if he has any questions.
No questions, just one comment. I was unable to attend the executive session for this position, this resolution as well. However, Mr. Hardister took the initiative to come meet with me and answer my questions individually. So I was apprised on these issues, and I'm prepared to vote for them.
Thank you for that, Brian. Mr. Prestipine, any questions or concerns?
I just have one comment as far as the budget goes. It's this goes back to that court's resolution too. It states that the resolution is effective January 1st, 2024, they will not receive the 2024 COLA. Whatever that 2024 COLA is in the 2024 budget. So that the number that's on the resolution is, although an adjustment will have to be made, it's not that entire amount. Part of it is in there because of the whatever we grant as a 2024 COLA, that portion would be in there, just the difference would have to be adjusted.
Very much appreciate your noting that for the record. Thank you. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope.
Thank you, though. That was very helpful. Commissioner Spielvogel,
Nothing, thank you.
thank you. Well, we do have a motion on the floor. Mr. Hardister has made his presentation. We've had an opportunity for questions and discussion. I'll now request a roll call vote, please.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes,
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes,
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. JR, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stick around, but if you have to move along, we understand.
You get to put up with me later, so.
Thanks, JR.
Thank you.
The last resolution that we have before us falls under the jurisdiction of the commissioners, and this is specific to the position of chief clerk. This proposed resolution number 64 would adjust the chief clerk's salary by an amount of $4,500. Would take effect on January 1 of 2024, but the position would then not receive the 2024 cost of living adjustment. In order for us to discuss this, would a board member care to make a motion, please?
so moved.
Thank you, Loretta. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Burek. I'll open it for comments or discussion, and I guess I'll start with Mr. Prestipine to see if he has anything he'd like to talk about.
no, just the same thing I just spoke about last time is in play here with the COLA.
Thank you, David. Commissioner Spielvogel.
I would just say that position, the duties have increased, and they continue to increase, and it is certainly well deserved.
Thank you so much. And Commissioner Burek.
Just note that the county in the past had paid outside counsel to negotiate contracts, and our current solicitor and county administrator / chief clerk taken on those duties as well. And if you compare the salaries with even the city of Newcastle administrator position in many other counties, the salary adjustment is very warranted.
Thank you for noting that. I think that's very important to keep in mind. Any other comments or concerns?
No.
We have a motion on the floor that has been seconded. I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes,
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes,
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Mhm.
Before we adjourn, I want to note that the salary board by law is required to convene on January 2 of 2024. That is this coming Tuesday. The board will convene at 2 p.m. It's a public meeting. My expectation is, though, that the only matters that we will be considering at that point will be the cost of living adjustments for non-union and management personnel within the county's structure. Is that your recollection as well, Mr. Prestipine? I don't anticipate any other matters of business. And generally what we'll do is we invite the elected officials to attend if they're able to. And again, as we go down the list of those elected offices, they each have the opportunity to vote. I just want to make it clear, that's my understanding as to how things are set up for next Tuesday.
so yes.
Okay, thank you all very much. Closing comments, Commissioner Spielvogel, anything before we move along? Thank you.
nothing.
Commissioner Burek? No. And Controller Prestipine?
No.
Okay, thank you. Vanessa, anything you think we've covered it all?
Did it.
Okay, appreciate that. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today, and Happy New Year to each of you, and I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. Ryan, can you do you know how to push the right button? Oh, there's Bill.
There's Bill.
You notice I didn't do it. Push the button. I break. Yeah, thanks, Dave.